good partnership, Scott, to link up with banjos and really helping kids out at the school.
Yeah, obviously it's crucial to continuing to build our brand throughout the state, and to have a company like this jump on board is fantastic for us. I get my coffee most mornings from there on my way into work, and they've been a great brand, and I actually love going into their stores and getting their goods there. But more importantly, the fact that they're a community thing that we can rally around again and again continue to build this brand throughout Tasmania is just a great indication of the last 2 years and where this team's going.
Got a list as long as my arm. I could ask you about different players that could be coming to the Jack Jumpers. Sounds like everyone wants to come here and everyone's been spoken about. I want to ask you about the Armstrong brothers though. I spoke to Trey the other day. Are they on your radar to get to the club as soon as next season potentially?
Well, there's 7 players that we've been tracking. That's 2 of the 7 we've been tracking, and they're coming and going at different times of their career, of either going into college or coming out. Both of them are players that we've been watching. I'll be spending some time in the next few weeks up in the north anyways, and have a chance to talk with Trey. My main priority right now is to get through these probably next 10 days to get into free agency and create some needs and solve some needs that we need to get done, and then we can have conversations after that.
With Taryn in particular, I know you've been a bit lukewarm on the Next Star process over the first couple of years, but is he someone that will fit that perfectly, finish college a couple of years early and come into that program?
Yeah, I would have no idea. That'd be a league thing at the end of the day. Yeah.
Spoken about fixing some needs or some needs that the team needs to address. What are those needs going into season 23-24?
Well, they're just a bucket list of things that every team is probably doing the exact same thing. If you can get some better shooting, some better size, some better athletic ability, that's what you're always looking for. And we'll continue to try to look at some of those things and try to solve some of those things. And you're not going to do it in one full sweep, but it's going to take some time to continue to add some of that. And the free agency list is really all you can go off of. It's not you're not able to make trades in the NBL. You're not able to really maneuver very much. So whoever's available is available, and we'll try to just tick some boxes.
What are the implications from Milton Doyle in terms of his potential re-signing with the club?
I think we're in good status with Milt. I'm hoping in the next few days we get a yes or no really at the end of the day, so that we can formulate our ideas around moving into free agency and solving some of the issues and helping out some of our other players that are waiting to hear what's going to happen with us. So he's probably the linchpin of really everything that's going to transpire for us and where we go.
Do you anticipate Josh and Rashad returning to the club next season?
Yeah, I haven't gone down those roads yet because right now my focus is to try to get Milt across the line. That will obviously give me some better indication of what we need, and then after that continue to work on the NBL free agency, which is around the corner. We are in absolutely no rush because the season is on track as normal. Last year we were in a rush because we were finishing at the same time Europe was finishing and trying to get guys back, and so the timing of everything is quite different than it was last year.
You said last time we spoke, Tanner Krebs was someone that you had your eye on for a while. He's told Brisbane he doesn't want to return there now, so do you go full tilt at him now potentially?
No, not potentially. We have a list, and obviously I'm not going to give away the list that we're going through. And we're just trying to work through it. Again, the number one thing for me is to get Milton Doyle across the line.
How proud are you to have got the club to a point where now you've got players around the world that want to come to Tassie and play for the Jack Jumpers?
Well, it's just a great credit to my coaching staff and the group and the front office at the end of the day that has created enough buzz down here for people to think this is a destination. And we're always competing against the other 9 teams, which is great, but we have to fit the needs of what Tasmanians are expecting from our players are quite different than what some other teams are looking at. So it's a nice place to be, but completely not satisfied at all with where we're at.
Every club in the league is going to want to be out wider, or at least make a pitch to him. How do you stand out from the crowd in terms of the Jack Jumpers when you're potentially recruiting him to the club?
Yeah, I'm not discussing that.
So the club's obviously going to be a talking point too moving forward. Everyone keeps referring back to Dirk Nowitzki and his visit to Hobart last year. Would he, you know him well, would he be interested in potentially buying the club?
Absolutely not. Dirk wouldn't do that. For me, it's hugely critical that 51% of this team is sold to Australians and Tasmanians for us to move forward. And I'm really hopeful that that's going to happen. But I think it's at a critical stage that they try to get that kind of group together to buy this team.
Why is it important it stays in local hands? Is your real point of view?
Because I feel Tasmanian. And at the end of the day, I want people in Tasmania to be proud of this team and represent this team. And that's all I think about when I get up to go to do my job. And when you start to get other outside things happening, you can lose your identity a little bit. And to me, this is a uniquely situation here in Tasmania, and it needs to be with Tasmanians.
Do you get a feel at this stage of where it might be headed, or you're not sure?
I have no clue.
Do you have a voice or input when it comes to Murray and the higher-ups, I suppose, in terms of who might be the front runner into purchasing the club, or who you...
No one's talked to me.
Do you hope they do? Do you hope Larry sounds you out? And what?
I mean, it's up to Larry. Obviously, he's done this for quite a long time, and whether he uses Scott Roth or not, that's up to him.
Just on the community partnership with Banjos, obviously it's really important that we continue to grow that partnership for the future recruitment of the club and get Tasmanians. I suppose, can you just talk to that a little bit of how every player came through clinics and junior programs in the early days? How important?
Yeah, obviously, what I've been doing and will continue to do for a few more weekends is to travel to these schools, to places like Scottsdale and Longford, and places that are a little bit off the grid in some areas, but it's quite amazing when you walk into those buildings and you see teachers and students with jack jumper gear on, and it really hits home that the brand is really throughout the entire state, and the kids are really the driving force, in my opinion. That is the fan base. The parents taking these kids to basketball clinics and all those type of things that hopefully are on the forefront of continuing to grow the game in Tasmania is really the number one focus, and hopefully our sponsors continue to support those areas, and having Banjos again on board is just another asset for us. But the kids are the driving force in any community, in any kind of situation you're in, because they're the ones who are going to take the parents to the games, want to get next to Jack Jumper, want to get next to our players, and we need to make sure that we're reaching out across the state.
Just on Sam, were you surprised that he didn't pick up his player option, or was that something that...
No, we had conversations, and Sam unfortunately had a tough year with coming in with the broken ribs, and took longer really for him to heal than we thought, and that was a couple months. And then it took a little while for him to get back, and then him and Kenny at the exact same time basically ruptured their calf muscle. So it's a difficult year for a lot of our players in general that were injured, but he had probably the toughest road of all. And then by the time he got back, I narrowed my thoughts down of how I was just going to finish the season out. And we wish Sam and Lachey and Malachi, his family, they're wonderful people. He's a tremendous human being, and he's going to land on his feet and do very well. But he probably was just thinking a fresh start would do him well. And listen, I love the kid and everything he's done here for us.
The flip side of that, Fab's got a new 2-year deal. He's around for another couple of years. He seems like someone that you're happy to have around.
Yeah, again, I've been trying over the last 2 or 3 years now to continue to evaluate well after I'm gone of a core group that will be here for long after I'm gone. I think Fab ticks so many boxes that go unnoticed, really. Everyone's going to obviously judge his performance on the floor, but he brings so much more to the table. And so to have him and McVeigh in for a longer haul with us, continue to build around some of that stability with them, I thought was quite important. And the reality is, Magne and Jared Barstow will be off contract next year, and Fab will be on. So there's some protection there for us also.
Trumick from Adelaide's another one that's been linked to the Jack Jumpers. Is he a player you like? Look on?
I like them all.
Thanks, Scott. Well done.